Hey, 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 time to shine today, Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson, and I get to talk to a homegirl from the Metro Detroit area. And if you're watching on YouTube, we got it right here, Detroit versus everybody. It's kind of our jam. Detroit in that area, to me, since I relocated to South Florida here, is kind of like I can talk crap about Detroit, but if anybody else does, they got me to deal with. So, but I am so stoked. This is a rescheduled interview. I got super sick, and Doren was so gracious to reschedule and be patient with the rescheduling. And we are now here in, I don't know, day 9,000 of quarantine. But I'm in South Florida where we've really kind of opened up. And Doren, where she lives, is in my hometown in the West Bloomfield area of Michigan. And so she is hit a little bit harder up there. The restrictions are kind of crazy, but her and I both agree that measures need to be put in place. And what's nice about Doren and her coaching is she's really helping out people that are kind of in that stuck situation, whether it be monetarily or with mindset. And we're going to dig into that a little bit with Doren, but she's very insightful, creative, action-oriented, who works with individuals and multiple types of relationships seeking significant change. She does it by blending experience, compassion, and humor. She skillfully navigates clients through the changes they seek and the goals they wish to accomplish. She has serious credentials, so obviously I'm going to play favorites from where she's from. And Doren, if you please come on and introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today Varsity Squad. But first, what emoji do you use the most while you're texting?
First of all, hi everybody. It's great to be on. I love Scott's energy, and this is really awesome for me. Not just because Scott's a hometown boy, but it's very exciting. My emoji is the one that wears the Ray-Bans.
The Ray-Bans, I love it. I love the cool one.
Yes.
How about your favorite color?
Oh, blue.
Blue, and why is that?
Well, it's a double meaning. One, blue is very peaceful and relaxing, and I just feel serene.
Oh,
but also, my favorite movie of all time is a movie called Heathers. It came out in the late 80s.
Yes.
And my favorite actress, Winona Ryder,
yes.
her color in the movie is blue.
Blue?
Yes.
You fit right into it.
So that's really where it started. That blue was kind of
your jam. And it's in your color wheel. It's in your color wheel. It'll look great on you. Blue, Yeah. Right?
It looks amazing on me.
Yes. So let's get to the origins of kind of where you started. And by the way, folks, this is bad on me, but the name of her company is Life Matters Coaching. And that'll be in the show notes, all the information to her to be able to reach her. But give us the origins of kind of where you started and what got you into the coaching, because I believe you've been certified through the Institute of Life Training since 2003 or so. So that's like 17 years. But give us the origins and working your way up.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It doesn't feel like that long.
Right.
But so I had my first child, and I don't know, I was really thinking about going back to school and getting my master's in psychology. And I was talking to my mom about it, and she had just taken this course in coaching, and I hadn't really heard about it. And so she lent me a book, and I feel horrible that I cannot remember the name of it right now. But I remember sitting down and reading it, and the first paragraph had me hooked. It was exactly what I wanted to do. Coaching actually moves people forward.
Sure.
You don't sit in a room of four walls reliving your problems, talking about the past, figuring things out, and never moving forward. And a therapist, I am a full supporter of therapy. I don't want anyone to hear that I'm not. Sure. Like, I'm a graduate of therapy more than once. And so go therapy.
Me too.
Yes, yay.
Right.
But I love the idea of actually being able to move somebody forward.
Okay.
I find that even there are times during my own therapy that I would hide out in there. And a therapist isn't necessarily going to push you.
Right.
They'll let you have your time and that's their process.
Right.
But for me, I love the idea of actually seeing somebody apply themselves or have that, what Oprah calls like her aha moment, and
Mm-hmm.
have things click and watch somebody actually develop into the person they want to become.
Sure.
And all of that kind of clicked in this paragraph. And that was it. I interviewed and applied for the school. The organization that I went to, the Institute for Life Coach Training, was created by Dr. Patrick Williams. It was a school simply for therapists that
Wow.
wanted to get into coaching.
Hmm.
Because I had a psychology degree but never practiced, I had to go through an interview process in order to be admitted.
Gotcha.
But I have not looked back. I've gotten continued education, certifications. I work with small businesses because that's a forte of mine. I love working with all sorts of relationships, individuals.
Nice.
I've tried to develop niches over the years, but
Sure.
I just love everything about it.
Good. No, I love that. And it shows in your energy, and from me just really vetting you out everywhere. It's like you wear different hats, but you wear them well.
Thank
So
you.
what do you think, let me ask you, what did you go to school for though?
I actually have I have 3 degrees
Okay.
and a minor. So
Okay. Okay.
stick with me. I started off in fashion merchandising.
Okay.
I loved retail, and I worked in retail for a number of
Yeah, I
years.
read that. Sure.
Yeah, and that's where I kind of got all this kind of loving business and this
Right.
business
Right.
acumen.
Right. Right.
And so I thought, okay, this is a good major for me. Once I finished that and got my minor in marketing, I was taking some other courses and I felt like, no. So I started off taking what's called an individualized interdisciplinary, which is basically like a basic studies.
Okay.
So you can graduate college without a major. And while I was doing that, I really attached to psychology and then finished both of those majors and
That
majored in
works. That
psychology as
goes
well.
right into coaching. So
Right. I
yes,
also have my master's in human development.
they all go together with coaching. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And
So what do
yeah,
you,
human development is amazing.
Doren, what do you think makes a great coach?
I think I know the thing that is not being attached to any outcome
Wow.
is the first important thing. You care for your clients. You want them to succeed so much because you're attached to this process.
Okay.
But when you're attached to an outcome, you stop coaching, you stop listening, and take on your own agenda. And coaches have to remember it's not about them.
Sure.
Just because you would do something a certain way doesn't mean your client would.
Right.
And so you have to stay listening. You have to stay knowing that this is their journey and you are there for those steps.
You
And
listen. You listen
that's
not
one of
only
the
with
most
your,
important things. What?
you listen not only with your ears, but also with your eyes, and like whether it's their
With
posture, everything, right?
Everything.
Okay. So what is your kind of maybe secret sauce that you might have to help a new client that you went through discovery, you're going to be a right fit for each other, but what is your secret sauce for helping them find their blind spot?
It's really in powerful questioning.
I knew you were going to say it. I love it.
Oh, you're so smart. See, it's a Detroit thing.
That's it.
You learn a lot going through the discovery process.
Sure.
So I have an intake packet. It's very simple. It used to be so much more complicated, and then I realized less is more. And the other thing you realize is that if you pay attention in general, people will always tell you who they are. They'll always tell you what they're all about, what kind of person they are. And the blind spot comes in when you stop paying attention. And so when I go through the intake packet, I might have another free session just to talk about the intake packet.
Okay.
I want to hear more about this. If I'm
Wow.
going to help you accomplish your goal and what goals and whatever those are, I need to get to what stops you.
Right.
And doing a free session regarding the intake packet can really help with that. It also allows the client to know that even though this is a business for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just here to collect money.
I hope not. Right.
I mean, no,
Right.
getting into coaching, that's not really, can't really be your, your focus.
Right.
So,
Okay. So
yeah.
was your family pretty supportive of your move into coaching? Because you said your mom kind of applied for it, right?
Yeah,
Is
my
that what you said?
mom actually, she's a therapist.
Okay.
And so she did go through a coaching program, but it never really stuck with her. I think that she was mainly a nice Freudian psychologist, and
Mhm.
coaching was a little too not a great fit for her.
Gotcha.
They were all very supportive and really excited about it. I'm always asked questions, and I have family members calling me and saying, "What would you do about this?" or "This is my issue." And
Right. No, that's awesome, Doran, that your family actually is on board with. So some people, they move into, something that's different than maybe what they went to school with. Not that you say you didn't, because a lot of the stuff you went to school with, translates right into coaching, but some families aren't. That's fantastic
yeah,
that yours are. So tell me a little bit about, we can talk about the COVID without getting political about anything, without, we stay very neutral here at Time to Shine. But like, our
that's good.
credo is we don't want anyone to feel like they have no one. So,
Oh,
with the regards to where we're at right now, the people's kind of mental well-being, and what are you doing kind of to help people out in the situations that we're at now? Because right now, I think we spoke offline about people being furloughed, laid off. They might not be able to
yeah.
afford you, but what are you kind of doing, and what's your thoughts on the situation right now with the mental hygiene of what's
I
going
am so worried about people.
on? Okay.
I'm really, I know what I go through on a daily basis, and I have my kids here with me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not easy. And having kids to kind of deal with, even though they're all in their teens, is not easy.
Right.
So whether you're alone or with your partner or with your wife or husband or a bunch of children or family members, whatever it is, there is a sense of being out of control,
Okay.
not being in control of your life. And that's what's so hard about the quarantine, is
Right.
that you don't have control. You can't just leave the house and,
Right.
and just be willy-nilly and do whatever you want. You're cut
Sure.
off from people. You're cut off from what you're used to. You have to if you want to keep yourself and others healthy, you have to put masks and gloves on. And it's a scary
Right.
time.
It is.
So I have been offering services either at a very reduced rate, in some cases pro bono,
Sure.
and
That's
you
great.
need someone to talk to. There's no commitment. I mean, there's never any sort of contract with my coaching to begin with. I do recommend to clients that they sign on for a minimum of 3 months, because
Mhm.
that's usually what it takes to
See a change.
see a change.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
Absolutely.
so, but in this situation, you need to talk to somebody.
Right.
Maybe put something on your schedule, so you and I are talking once a week for an hour, and you can talk to somebody different and share and get out all the
Right.
stuff that's going on in your mind. Great.
That's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
so blessed that you're doing that. I mean, you're the ultimate go-giver, and there's other coaches out there that are doing what you're doing, and that's just fantastic. Because not only is it helping the person kind of level up during this time of craziness, but you're gonna be remembered as well.
Oh.
You're leaving a legacy behind. And speaking of that, so if we were to get and meet up with Marty McFly, and we hopped in his DeLorean, and we went
Oh.
back to the 22-year-old Doran, what knowledge nuggets would you drop on Doran then that you hope she'd use, internalize, and maybe shorten her learning curve?
Stay away from bad boys.
There you go. Woo, woo.
um, I think that I would say be kinder to yourself.
Love it.
You know, having drive and having vision for your life sometimes can get in the way of what's important.
Wow.
And you can lose focus
Sure.
on, you know, being kind to yourself or practicing good self-care or taking a moment to focus on what you have accomplished.
Right.
I reached success at a very young age in my retail career.
Hmm.
And I kind of expected my life to go that
Trajectory.
trajectory.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it didn't, because of different choices and
Right.
decisions I made. And for a long time, I spent time regretting those things.
Sure.
And why?
So just be kind to yourself and
Right.
progress. If you're going to fail, fail forward. Right. Right.
I mean, isn't failure just an opportunity to do better or to
Absolutely.
learn?
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
what it is. I mean, that's part of being human. So
Sure.
I think that I would drop that little nugget on myself and say, you know, it's okay. Just chill
Be
out.
be kind to yourself and
Be
no bad
kind.
boys. Just kidding.
Yes. Oh, those
so
bad boys.
so Doran, during the discovery period when you're talking to new clients, what is there any, how do I ask this? Is there any question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
Oh my gosh. I've never been asked that before. Scott, you have me stumped. Okay. No.
No?
No.
I
I
would
think
ask you,
what would you ask
tell
me?
me about a fail where you couldn't help a client that you worked with.
Oh my God. There was in the very beginning,
Okay.
my very first pro bono client. So during your training,
Mm-hmm.
you can take on pro bono clients because you need a certain amount of hours
Hours,
before
right.
you can, you know, obviously go through your testing and get certified.
Mm-hmm.
And I I was obviously very green. And that's where I learned a lot of my lessons. I invested too much time trying to solve her problems
Ah,
instead of hearing that she did not want help.
ah, gotcha.
What she wanted to do was complain.
Right.
What she wanted to do was kind of stay in this space of hers.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first recollection.
Okay.
Another is similar to that. Some years ago, a man hired me. He was having trouble in his marriage. He wanted to fix it. That's what he said. We went through my entire process,
Sure.
vetted him, felt okay. And then all these things started coming out, like it was an open marriage,
Right.
and his wife was spending alone time with the guy, even though that was not part of
Ooh,
their
gotcha.
arrangement. And anytime I would make a suggestion or ask him a question, he just became very defensive.
Ah,
And that's when a coach, that's where not being attached to the outcome has to come in. Because
love
then
it.
you have to make the hard decision of saying, you know what, you're not ready for this.
Gotcha. Love that.
This is not going to be positive. Yeah.
So, Dorn, we talk about the dash here at Time to Shine today, and we want to know, my listeners and myself want to know how you want your dash to be remembered. Your that little line between your life date and death date, that little dash. How do you want that dash? Your epitaph, if you will. Like, how do you want that dash to be remembered for you?
How much time do we have?
Got to be kind of quick, just because my producer's over here going to give me
Yeah.
this. But how would you like it
um,
remembered?
that she did what she wanted to do.
Love it. That's good enough for you, and you're doing it in the service of others. So
Yeah.
it's already proven. That's perfect. So then, to piggyback that, what is your definition of a life well lived?
I think not allowing something like fear to hold you back, not allow what other people could say. You know, you've always wanted to write a book,
Sure.
put it out there. it's not necessarily about the outcome of that or the reaction. It's about you're doing things for yourself.
And the experience of it, right?
And the experience of saying, I did that. And now what else do I want to do?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wind stuff up a little bit, Doren, we have what's called a leveling up lightning round, okay?
Ooh.
So you and I could talk 15, 20 minutes about each one of these questions, but you have 5 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Every one of them can be answered in right off the top of your head. That's what I want. No explanations, just answer. You ready to rock?
I'm ready.
Ready. What is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Go.
Love that. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
I walk when I talk. My brain is constantly moving when I'm coaching.
So not what you're reading now or the flavor of the month you see everyone else reading, but what is the one book, if I was in doldrums, I came to you and you're just like, Scott, like mine's called The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews, or The Go-Giver by Bob Burke. But what is that book that you hand to people?
The 1 Minute Manager.
Love it. That's a fantastic answer.
It's a great book.
Love it. So if you could be one age for the rest of your life, what would it be?
25.
Right there with you. Awesome. So what's your favorite charity and organization you like to give your time and or money to?
Kids, brothers and sisters.
Okay. Got Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. And last question. What is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Hello. 80s.
Big hair, don't care, and you're sporting it.
I love it.
We grew up, Doren and I grew up knowing some of the same people and stuff. So
it is a toss-up between 80s and 90s.
Yeah, the 90s
I gotta
was transitional. Because you had the 80s and you had kind of whether you are a Crew fan, Motley Crue, a Cure fan, you know, and then you had just so many different, hair bands. You had, Duran. You just had all kinds. Michael Jackson,
the 80s
Madonna,
was so amazingly
Prince.
eclectic.
Yeah.
Like eclectic. And you could be a Michael Jackson fan and love Rat.
Yes.
You know, and there was not so much in the 90s or other eras.
And then you had rap music with Run DMC and all that stuff, right? I mean, come on, so much happened.
Sugar Hill Gang.
Yes, right? But then, you roll, like you just said, roll into the 90s and you have, kind of the Nirvana Pearl Jams that kind of opened up the 90s.
Going.
Yeah, and it was just so fun in those 2 decades. People like these millennials. And I love you millennials, by the way. I just had a fantastic interview with a millennial just about an hour ago, but she said the 80s. She's like, I just knew what my mom is like. That's awesome. So
my oldest always says he was born in the wrong generation, but he feels like he really should have been born in Generation X.
Yeah, we're X's.
I'm like, that's what everybody wants, sweetie.
So, Doren, how can we find you?
You can check me out at Life Matters Coaching on Facebook, one word. You can also find me at www.life-matters-coaching.com.
Love it. And all of those.
You can book a free session right from the site.
Yeah, you can right here. I'm looking right at it. And folks do that with Doren. She's amazing. And she her website's very well put together, and all that information you just told you, as long as other links to Doren will be in the show notes. Doren, do me a favor and leave the Time to Shine Today squad with one last knowledge nugget that you want them to take with them, internalize, exercise, motivate, and use.
My favorite quote is "Let go or be dragged."
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
We all hang on to so much.
Love
and it really drags us down. And if we allow ourselves to let go, you can level up your life. You can soar.
I love that. And squad, you've just been witness to a masterclass with my good friend Doren, who is a fantastic coach. She says if you pay attention to people, people will let you know what you're going through, meaning like actually really listen and listen empowered, listen with your eyes, listen with your ears, all the senses. She wants you to be kind to yourself and don't allow fear or others to hold you back. Live intentionally. Don't be attached to any outcome. And this is just blown my mind. Let go or be dragged, which will be her quote on her webpage that we're going to build for. And Doren is so humble yet hungry to help people. She's a total go-giver. She's always leveling up her health, wealth, and mindset. And I'm so blessed to have had her on. Thank you so, so much, Doren, for coming on.
Thank you,
You're
Scott.
part of our
This is
squad.
great.
All right.
Anytime.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.